Yo, I couldn't stop laughing. I saw John B up there. Welcome in, welcome back. This is a Lower Rung podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am your host, Austin Grubbs. To my right, I have Zane from the Window Guys. And on my bottom, I didn't word that very well. On the bottom, John B. What's going on?
Good evening.
It is so good to be back and be in a normal routine. I was down at the IWCA last week. It was something.
The hair with that banner you got?
Yeah. I got a new banner. I got the Zero banner. Got a WCR banner. Got some tablecloths. I got a lot of stuff, man.
Heard that and said, "Oh, that's how you say zero."
Yes, it was. I'm so used to the huge going to the IWCA. I was just like, wow, a little slower.
Yeah, I've been to the huge, but I've never been to IWCA, so I don't know how is it different.
Well, I think 24 booths backed out.
Wow.
So I want to say there was maybe 20 booths, maybe. I think I only talked to like 4 people each day. So like the huge, there's 4 reps in the booth, and it's like hard to catch everybody. But at the IWCA, it was just like trying to sell to the janitor. I'm trying somebody come over here and buy this stuff.
Just aptly named then.
Yeah. And we had all of our shirts and hats stolen day one. So the security was a little low.
That is very different from the huge. We had that one security guard at the huge. They had that place on lockdown. So maybe they need to hire that lady for IWCA next year, because there will be nothing stolen if she's there. I can promise.
Yeah. JTG said, "What up? What's going on, man?" Yeah, Zane couldn't even get into the huge, and he was with us.
Right.
In the IWCA, they just walked in and just like literally just snatched.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But it was a good time, man.
If you were to put a positive spin on it, hopefully they're getting our logo out there.
Yeah. Shake some hands, autograph some babies, getting our name out there. Because in the window cleaning world, I would say we're extremely popular. But on the pressure wash, soft wash side, it's a lot of. So we were talking about that today.
Well, and that's
that area.
That's kind of the big thing at the huge is what I noticed. I mean, I've gone the past 2 years, but what a big majority of it is people that are mostly pressure washing, soft washing, kind of getting their feet into window cleaning. So that's a really big market at the huge, is you see a ton of people with the pressure washing rigs and all that stuff leaving with a ton of window cleaning stuff. So, I don't know. I've never been to IWCA. I'd like to check it out, but like John said, the huge, definitely called the huge. I've had fun when I've been there.
Well, the IWCA next year is going to be in Puerto Rico, so go ahead and go to that one. I'll stay home for that one. Good luck.
Poor thing set up. Oh wait, do you need it for Puerto Rico?
Passport?
Good.
Oh, John's in and out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, John, I lost you for a second.
Is he gone? I see him, but I don't hear him.
Yeah. This happened pre-show. We're going to get John's vocals back on here in just a second. Now he's frozen. Usually it's my internet, so maybe John's a problem.
I was about to say, my internet's been good the whole time I've been on, so y'all need to figure something out. That's all I'm saying.
It's both of us. We have horrible internet. I think he was asking about passports, which Puerto Rico, isn't that a United States
territory? I believe. Yeah.
Which is weird. Like the Virgin Islands is U.S. territory. Super weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I was not very good at geometry, so I would not know.
Yeah, for that. But yeah, the huge, like you said, you see so many soft washing guys that are getting into window cleaning, which if you're a soft wash guy listening, it's such an easy add-on. I mean, you're spending a couple of grand less than you would spend on a brand new 8 gallon a minute, and you can add $500-600 a ticket. So it's a
Right.
very easy add-on to add, especially if you already have the soft wash customers.
Yeah, the cool thing at the Huge was I like Mormon Tools has a setup where they've got a portable window that they bring, and they've got it set up with the flick pad and all that stuff. And so I like to hang out and then make the rounds, go show off my skills a little bit on the Mormon pole work deal. But there were 3 or 4 like pressure washing guys over there. And I happened to walk by and I looked, and they're just struggling and struggling, couldn't really get it. And so I said, you know what, let me try. I've never really done this before. I'll see what I can do. And sure enough, had to show off a little bit, but I took some time and I was like, well, here, look, it's actually pretty simple. Here's what you do, blah, 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 blah. And then I kind of walked away. And then Dieter, who helps run the Mormon stuff, he came by a few hours later and gave me a whole bunch of free stuff. He's like, dude, those pressure washing guys you talked to ended up buying a whole bunch of stuff. So here's some swag for you. And I was like, dude, that's pretty cool. But yeah, the window cleaning stuff, just take a little bit of practice, but especially with a water fed pole, super easy add-on for sure.
Are you back, John?
Can you hear me?
I can.
I hear you.
Oh, great. Perfect. Yeah, did you get that mug, that cool mug with the like warning, the like Mormon warning sign?
I didn't. No.
Oh, damn. It's a classic. It must be, I think it's like old merch. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's some good stuff.
I think Aztec has that as well. I have like a coffee mug.
Oh, is it Aztec? Maybe it's the Aztec mug, yeah.
Yeah, I have
You
a
have one?
giant plaque that says to avoid injury, don't tell me I missed a spot.
Oh, I've got that, like the big metal sign. I've got one of those.
Yes. We were going into something about Puerto Rico. Where were we going? Where were we going with that?
You hit it, actually. I was saying
Okay.
that I don't think you would need a passport, right?
Yeah, but can you
That's sweet.
imagine the shipping cost of shipping everything
No.
over there?
Don't want
Yeah,
to.
that would be.
I don't know if they still have like weather issues, but like I remember a couple of years ago, there was still like a percentage of the island that didn't have power. So
Ooh.
I don't know. They always get hit with terrible like hurricanes and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. But some cool news. The show was kind of a bust for us. We didn't sell a ton of tools, but we got some giveaways coming up. We will get our sheet together and let you know a little bit later on of what's going on, but we'll have some giveaways on some poles, some systems, some brushes, some trad gear. So I think that'll be pretty cool. We'll do some swag, some t-shirts and stuff. And I plan on doing some phone call, not interviews, but you can call in, be on the show for 5 or 10 minutes, say what's up,
Nice.
say which one to talk about. And I did want to go on to go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say along that vein of like giveaways and with the giveaways doing certain types of contests that, we can kind of like make things a little bit different and try and include any of the listeners or, viewers, however you take this in. I think we just have it right now on YouTube, right? So we'll have to figure out like a way if people want to listen audio only, if you're window cleaning and just want to listen. I don't know if everybody has like YouTube Premium or whatever.
I don't, and it's so annoying
Me
when you
neither.
click that button and it's just gone. Makes no
I've
sense.
got it.
You shut your screen off and you're like, I knew I don't have premium. I don't know why I
Yeah.
did that.
I've got it. I'm never going back. Like, it is
Yeah.
the best. If I'm ever like looking at someone else's phone and they're trying to show me a video and there's ads, I'm like, oh, you peasant. You don't know what it's like. Like I never have to watch an ad again. But yeah, and then being able to, like I said, that's how I could watch you guys too. Turn it on, put it in my pocket while I'm cleaning windows. It's not too bad. So yeah, I'll vouch for premium.
bad.
Get the YouTube Premium.
So you're
Nice,
not watching ads. You're not contributing to Steve-O's wallet, I guess.
Oh,
geez.
I guess not. Well, sorry, Steve-O. My bad, man. I didn't mean to.
Oh, geez. You didn't
I try to
know
watch a
that.
Steve-O ad, and there's like, or I will try to watch a Steve-O video. There's like 4 ads. I'm like, man, this dude's killing it.
Any teeth this week? What is that a reference?
That would be my brother. Shout out to Noah.
That's right.
I don't know what the lore of this is. Every time I'm on a podcast, it started the first time he said, "Hey, show us them teeth," and I'm like, I don't know where this comes from. He's really weird, but I'm not just gonna make fun of him because when me and him get together, we are both equally pretty weird. So, yeah, I don't
No,
know.
we like weird over here.
Yeah, I don't know
Weird is
about
good.
showing teeth weird, but it's all good.
I've thought about getting veneers, but I'm terrified that if it goes wrong, you can't go back. They just like shave your teeth down, and you just have these like
Yeah.
giant horse teeth.
And then what if you have problems with your gums?
Yeah, no.
That's a problem. But yeah, as you were saying, making things kind of just kind of like bring in people and have it more of like a thing where people kind of can feel involved, or at least
Right.
we can find fun ways to get people active and win some gear in the end.
Yeah, we could do like one of those radio shows. Caller number 10. Caller number 10 wins treadmill.
That'd be great.
We'd have to have 10 people to listen to this though, so we'll get there.
Well,
you
we've
can
got us
always
3, so
yeah,
7
and
more.
you can have buddies. I won't tell. I won't tell anybody.
Fake
Unless
calls.
somebody's asking about teeth, then we'll know who that might
We,
be.
we'll know whose brother that is asking about teeth. Yeah,
Yeah.
give
You
him
know,
away.
I was talking to Alex at the convention, and we were talking about like the coolest place you've ever cleaned. We were talking about a kind of the weirdest place you've ever cleaned. So if you,
Mhm.
Zane, I know John doesn't clean windows, but if John can think of the weirdest or coolest place he's ever been, I guess. But Zane, what's the coolest slash weirdest? You can do 2 of them if you want. Place you've cleaned.
I'd have to think about weirdest. I bet if I sat and thought about it, I could come up with probably a few. But the coolest place, I don't know. There's not really anything that cool around us, but we took a little vacation actually last February. Went down to Florida, saw our friend Jacob Williams in Panama City, stayed with him for a few nights. And then we went down and stayed with Mark
Panhandle.
Tanner at Panhandle. There you go. Then we stayed with Mark Tanner, and Eddie Stewart flew out, and it was me and Mike, Mark Tanner, Eddie Stewart, and we're cleaning these like big Mercedes dealerships, and
Hmm.
we cleaned. He has a some country club right on the beach that he cleans every week, and so me and Mike are like, dude, we're used to cleaning like subways all week, and now we're at a giant country club that costs like, I think he said like $200,000 a year or something to be a member of, something crazy. But yeah, that country club was pretty nuts. And fun fact, we actually went down there to do some training, to do some hard water removal. So we're down there taking off all this hard water damage and all this stuff. And like 2 months later, Mark texts us like, hey, all that glass you just renewed, yeah, it's getting replaced anyway. So good work. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. But no, that country club was awesome. I'd have to do some thinking on the weirdest place, though.
I would have to say one of the coolest places. I'll go into 2 short stories here. Coolest place to me that I ever cleaned, and John B might get a kick out of this because he's a baseball guy. So 2017 is when the Astros won the World Series. The next year, they won.
Boom, boom, boom.
The next year, I go do this dude's house. I show up, and it's just a normal, interior, exterior. And AJ Hinch was the manager of the Astros. His wife opened the door. I knew what she looked like because we're in Houston. And I was like, oh my God, this is AJ Hinch's wife. I'm at AJ Hinch's house. So she's like, hey, I got to go to Minute Maid and do some meetings. Just, do whatever you need to do. So I'm like inside, no one's there. There's World Series champagne bottles.
That's
His
awesome.
jersey's like on the bed. It was just like surreal that they were just like, yeah, I'm leaving, there's like millions of dollars worth of merchandise in here. There was baseball bats of the All-Star game. Like every player in the All-Star game signed it.
That's cool.
But next to them, across the street, it's a gigantic neighborhood with 40,000 square foot houses. I cleaned the house next door of this house. I think it was like 28,000 square feet. Gucci Mane did a music video in this lady's closet.
What?
Yeah, he flew down. She has a 3-story closet. I can't remember what song it was. I'll YouTube it after, but I was just like, what? Like she had gigantic like chessboards the size of like a human outside. Craziest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
Huh.
I guess better Gucci Mane than R. Kelly trapped in the closet.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was pretty weird. But what about you, John? I know you don't clean windows, but coolest, weirdest place you've ever been?
Um, off the spot. I mean, that's pretty tough. Um,
WCR warehouse.
that's got to be the coolest as far as window cleaning goes. I would. Oh, you know what? I saw somebody. If you guys can remember who it was, if you happen to see the post in Pro over the weekend, somebody was at this like venue, I guess, for weddings. That was like a church. Did you see
Yes.
that online? It was actually, I think, in or near Oklahoma. I'm pretty
Oh,
It's
sure.
I know
open.
exactly who you're talking about. That's my man
Yeah.
Brandon Puckett, right? Is that right,
Yeah.
Austin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Brandon is awesome.
That's
That's at some it's at a nature place called Garvin Woodland Gardens in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
man.
Me and my girlfriend were there a few months ago. But that cathedral is literally insane. Like the woodwork and it all cuts across it. And I don't know how he cleans it, but big props to Brandon because
Mm,
that place is
seriously.
insane.
When
Yeah.
he
Like.
called me about that estimate, I literally told him straight up, I would not clean that. I don't
Yeah.
even know how you would. It's like all bamboo everywhere. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You. I don't even know what number you put out there. But for anybody who didn't see it, I mean, do you guys remember what the church was called specifically?
Oh,
But it was like wood structure, like the bones of like a wood structure covered in I guess some of it was glass, or if not all of it was glass, and like I mean it must be just like a wedding venue, and potentially like they might have like some church services there, I would imagine, something like that. But I mean something you would see in like a magazine or something. Really
yeah,
impressive. Imagine having to work that.
it's called Anthony Chapel. That's what
That's
it's
right.
called.
Yes.
Anthony Chapel. And yeah, it is crazy. Just looking at the front door is just very daunting. I don't even know how I would clean it. So yeah, that dude, Brandon Puckett, he's an animal, dude. I've got him on all my socials. We talk a lot. And it's every single day. And he's doing Christmas lighting, soft washing, pressure washing, window cleaning. Like that dude is a beast. And then he does
Wow.
like Brazilian jiu-jitsu every night. And I'm like, this guy could clean my windows and kill me. And I want him to be my best friend. He's the best.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. I just saw that venue and I had to look it up. I was looking up the location and
Yeah.
other images and stuff. That thing in like different seasons. It was just really really cool looking, man.
Yeah.
yeah, there was a house that I no longer do. I was telling Alex about this. So this guy, I'm pretty sure he's either like in the cartel or the mafia, not sure which one. We would clean his house 3 times a week, and it was like roof wash, house wash, window cleaning, driveway, like everything. And it just had to be covered in bleach. And like it's this gigantic property. I don't know how many acres, and it's like a 16,000 square foot home. And like in the wooded area, there's like this gelatin hole, and you could like poke it. And I was like, that's where they're putting bodies. Pretty positive. And
Yeah.
every time I went there, it was like a new car, new plates, and he always had like Richard Millie's on. And I was like, I don't want to ask this guy anything. He'll probably kill me
No.
if I ask him something.
No. You don't ask for water at a job like that or
No.
anything. You just put your head down and work.
I didn't see
That's
anything.
wild.
He had like cameras in the trees, and he painted the wires up to the camera brown to like camouflage them in the trees. Like super scary.
Wow. Man. That's next level.
Yeah, you've cleaned a lot cooler places than I have.
Yeah. Did, okay, here we go. He's good.
Sorry,
Frozen.
lost you for a second.
Yeah, that's
Well,
pretty impressive couple of situations there, guys.
Yeah, I've seen some weird
Okay.
stuff, man.
yeah. How was it meeting Alex for the first time? I know you were. Didn't we talk about that last week? You were a little nervous about what would happen. Did you figure out if Chris and Alex are the same person or not?
I saw them both walk into the hotel. Um,
Double
I don't know if
vision.
that's some kind of new technology, some mirroring going on.
What they want you to
Um,
see.
yeah,
You
because
got
if
the
if
Apple
you've
Vision
seen
going.
if you've seen those like boxes where you can like project yourself into different
Right.
places. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
That's
Um,
actually all we used at the warehouse. Nobody even was in the building. We just were all in those little boxes.
yeah, it was funny because I said, what's up to Alex, and Jersey pulled me aside. He's like, I thought you were kidding. You've never met Alex? I was like, well, I met him in Branson, but I wasn't really like a rep then. He probably didn't remember. So yeah, it was
Right.
technically
Sure.
the first time meeting him. So
Yeah, that's cool. That had to have been at least like I don't know. It had to have been a kind of mixed like whole weekend there with everything that went down, but had to have been cool to finally just meet in person. And I don't know if you guys did you just set up and like hang out at the convention, or did you guys go out to eat or anything like that?
Josh Jersey rented a car, and we didn't leave one time. We stayed. We ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the convention. We were at the lobby bar. We never left, and they've never had Whataburger. I was like,
Oh
Whoa.
yeah, I've never had that either.
Huh.
Yeah.
you guys have to go. Like, this is like a
Yeah.
Texas thing. And they didn't stop at Bucky's. I was like, guys, you're ruining this Texas experience.
Some would say that that's ruining the Texas experience and that there's a whole nother Texas experience before all of the other stuff, right?
Yeah, I
All
mean,
the
he
commercialism.
he walked up and he handed me a briefcase with like $1 million in cash and told me to grab his bags. And I didn't talk to him for the rest of the weekend. I was like, this guy doesn't want to talk to
Do what that man says.
me.
That's great. So it was pretty light as far as like traffic in there and you know, overall kind of I don't know. I mean, for you at least, you were pretty close, right?
Yeah, I was only about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. Uh, it was a weird experience because when you go to the huge, you have so many of your customers there. So like you'll just be walking around, see some customers, say what's up. You're at the booth. KD said, "What's up, fellas? Good to see you." Jacob
Yep,
sent me the
Katie.
link. What's going on? So when I got to the IWCA, I didn't see like any of my customers. I was just talking to like vendors. Like I talked to the Unger
Mm,
guys.
right.
I talked to the Mormon guys, and I don't know. It was just a weird experience because the huge is mainly just guys networking and having a good time. So the
Right.
IWCA was strict, safety classes. I don't know. It was a different experience.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, I guess you can kind of like try and take what you can out of it, like you said, talking to the other vendors and, at least just talking shop, you try and make the best out of it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Question to Zane from KD: Are you going to Florida with your dad? I'm gonna try and meet up with him later this month. I didn't see you guys last time.
Yeah, I wish. I don't know if we are or not. We've had quite literally about a month of snow and rain and ice. And so normally January is pretty slow. We can knock out a whole bunch of stuff and free up some time in the wintertime. But I don't know. I think we're talking about it, but we're going to try sometime to get down there. But last time we went down there, we kind of made a whole mini road trip out of it. We, like I said, drove down and met with Jacob for a few nights. That was awesome. He hates that me and Mike called it the ocean. He said it's actually the Gulf. It's not the
It
ocean.
is, yeah.
And so therefore we had to keep calling it the ocean just to make him mad. I don't think he picked up that we were just trying to make him mad. But and then we drove across Florida. We met with, I believe it's Bryce Seth at Port St. Lucie. We stopped in for like
Oh, man.
an hour or two at his house. He just said, "Hey, come on in." So we got to talk and meet with him. And then we met up with Eddie and Mark Tanner. So we just did a whole road trip out of it. It was awesome. So, oh, right. So Katie said he was caught in traffic when we got to stop in Port St. Lucie, but which surprisingly, there's a lot of window cleaners right there in that one town. I've got like 3 people on TikTok that are right there. But no, I definitely want to make it back down to Florida. Florida's awesome. It's a lot better
I,
than
I,
Oklahoma. But
I will say, I think a lot of the pro athletes, or at least I know the Mets spend their spring training down there, so they probably
yep,
have
Astros too.
secondary homes. They're probably huge places down there.
yeah,
F-
yep,
Uh, Jacob is on the nice side of the Gulf of Mexico. I am also in the Gulf of Mexico, but we have like this Mississippi track that goes into ours. So it's like just a mix of oil and mud and dirt. Like when Alex flew over, he was like, "Is this it? Is this where we're at?" Like, I don't ever want to come back here ever again.
I went into the Gulf. I think I was in. I don't know if we mentioned this or if we were talking about this for whatever reason, an episode or two ago. But I think I was down in where the heck was it? It was Fort Myers. I was down on
Yeah.
the water there, and I guess it had just stormed because the water it had brought up so much of the sand all the way into like the kind of like area where people would get onto the beach. So like there were just these like mounds and everything, and the water was like super warm and like it was down to your like ankles for like what felt like miles. It's pretty crazy.
Ugh.
Very weird. Cool experience though down there.
Jacob said Alex is invited. You're invited. Mike's invited. I think everybody's invited but me. So yeah.
You have
Florida
to
is
be.
like a mini USA, I feel like
It is.
there's a little bit of everything in every part of it, which I kind of appreciate. You know, you have your cities, you have, you know, your I guess I don't think there's any mountains really, but other than that, it's like pretty much everything else.
Yeah, in order to be invited to hang out with Jacob, you have to be christened. The official Jacob Williams christening is you make a serious video and then he takes it and puts it on TikTok and overdubs it with it, making you sound like you're saying the most wretched, horrible, absolutely nasty thing ever. And then people think that's what you're actually saying. So you have to let him
Yes.
do that. And then you're invited. You can come hang out.
I actually got to talk to Mark Tanner for about an hour the other day because like my truck situation is so bad. So I asked somebody on Facebook if a mechanic could please call me. So Mike hooked me up with Mark, and we had a long conversation about how whoever's fixing my truck is a complete idiot and has no idea what they're doing. So that was nice. He was like, "Yeah, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but you know."
Dude,
Sucks to
Mark Tanner is the man. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that are legit, but Mark Tanner is on another level. I love that dude so much. We were down there for 3 days maybe, and the amount of knowledge that we got to learn in 3 days was just insane. And it's just stuff that he has. Like, he just pulls up random facts and knowledge that I wouldn't even think about. And that dude is awesome. I love Mark Tanner for real.
And Jacob said, "I'm fixing my truck and I'm an idiot." So I wish I was fixing my truck at this point. I'm gonna have him tow it back to the house and I'm gonna do it in my driveway.
It exploded, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting to it to either like get fixed or completely explode and catch into flames. One of the two. You know, as long as somebody writes me a check.
Well, at least something would be happening in that case, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not at all savvy with the truck thing. I ran my last truck straight out of oil. And, you know, I was driving it, and for about a month, I would be like, I wonder why my truck is just shaking all the time. I'm going to keep driving it and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like which I mean, I got off pretty well. $1,000, get the whole engine rebuilt, all that stuff. But I was like, I should probably change my oil every once in a while. All I know is the right pedal makes it go. The other one makes it stop. You got to put gas in it sometimes. That's about it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So
Jacob, hit anybody up. One of us, put an order in. We'll get you a zero hat, no problemo. Or you can message Chris. He'll probably send you one.
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me of how probably mechanics feel like in comparison to when people tell us that they've had their system for like a year and a half and they've never changed any filter out of it or don't
Right,
even
right,
know
right,
what
right.
the filtration is. And you're like, yeah, I know what a dipstick is, and it's like, well, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad with cars. I mean, I can change my like a flat, or I could probably change oil, but haven't done it in years. Yeah, it's pretty basic knowledge about cars. I know words. I know like things within the car. I don't know what the hell they do, but I can, catalytic
Yep.
converter. I can
That's what Mark
say all the
Tanner was
things.
saying. Basically, he was like, they probably just walked up and showed you a bunch of metal and like springs, and they were like, "Hey, this is broke, and what are you gonna do?" Oh, okay. Yep,
Right.
you're right. I need some new ones.
Oh, you mean there's stuff in the hood? Oh, shoot.
Yep, go ahead and
No
fix it.
idea. Thought that was a frunk.
Frunk.
Hey, those new Cybertrucks have a frunk.
Does that not work either?
Just a gigantic AA battery under the hood.
Just a Duracell.
You
Yeah,
pay $40,000 more and it will stop one of Joe Rogan's arrows.
dude. I saw a regular Tesla car, and it had bags, and the bags were painted Duracell batteries.
That's good.
Fantastic.
I like that. I like stuff like that. Fun. I like when you see a Toyota truck that they've like got every letter except the yo on the back, and you're like, yes,
Yoda.
I love that. Just
Yes.
a little Toy Story reference.
Jacob said you need to grow your mustache out just like John B.
I wish I could, dude. I've been trying for like 22 years. I just can't get it. That's about as good as I can do. I will give myself a little credit. I do have a mustache. It's just very blonde. So that's my excuse,
Yeah, I
at
mean,
least.
you just
Start
gotta.
taking testosterone.
Probably
It's
need
like when
to.
you grow out your hair, or if you ever try and grow out your hair, that like medium stage that you hit
Oh,
that
yeah.
like kind of stinks, where like you just either want it long or you want it short again, and like the mustache takes a long time because I couldn't grow anything. It was coming out spotty. I was growing it at the at our old location, and Alex was ripping into me about the stash. I was like, I'm gonna keep it, and it kind of came in after so many months and months. But I can't grow anything else otherwise.
That's how mine was. It was super splotchy forever. And like you said, your friends are like, dude, are you homeless? I could buy a razor for you. It's fine. I was like, no, I'm just gonna keep waiting. It'll grow out and curl up. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm at the stage of going all out, really, of just trying to get to like maybe a walrus type of like long ass,
There you go.
no
Post
mouth kind of
Malone.
status, or just get rid of it. So we'll see.
I dig it.
We'll see. Appreciate it.
Somebody had written down, I don't know who this is, but just the title about a job in, what is it, Schulenburg?
Oh
What is
man,
that? I want to hear about this.
I gotta get into this, man. So long time ago, I was working for a company, and I got a job that was 2 hours outside of my service area. So it was so far away. And they were like, hey, if you just do this job, you can take the money. Don't really care. So at the time I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take the money. No big deal. So I started driving. I get all the way out there. I think it was like a $600 job in and out. So I get there, and it's on this gigantic property. There's no road. There's cows everywhere. I'm afraid I'm going to get murdered. I'm like, okay, this guy is not cleaning his windows. There's no way. So I drive up to his house, and I get out. First thing meeting this guy, I go hop out to say hello, and I left the truck in drive. So the truck runs into the back of this dude side by side. And so I'm like, this is a perfect way to start a conversation. So I start talking to this guy. He's like, oh, it's no big deal. This guy's filthy rich. Just could care less. And so I go to like start cleaning the windows. I had a buddy with me. So one guy inside, one guy outside. And the guy was new. He came inside and he was like, hey, I don't know how to like work the windows. And I was like, what do you mean? I don't understand. What do you mean work the windows? And he's like, I don't know. The windows are weird. So I go in, it's storm French windows.
Oh my Lord.
And so I was like, okay, just stop what you're doing. We're leaving. So I tell the
Yeah.
guy, we're not doing this. We're leaving. He's like, no one else will come out here. I will give you a blank check. Tell me how much it is. And I was like, and I just threw out a number. I was like, 1,500. And he's like, deal. And I was like, did I say 1,500? I meant 15,000. Like, and so he was like, I'll give you cash right now, and you both get, a tip. And I was like, okay, let's get started. So the whole time I'm like taking these storms apart. I'm just like cussing at myself. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And so he starts like opening beers for us. And he's like, you guys want to drink? You're going to be here a while. And I was like, okay, I guess. And then he's like cooking us like ribs for lunch. And I was like, this may be, kind of cool. So like we're halfway done, and he's like, "You want to go see the rest of the property?" And I was like, "No, like I have work to do." And he's like, "No, let's go see it." So he has like a shooting range and like a giant stocked pond. And I was like, "Okay, we got to get back." So we get back, and it's almost dark. I'm finishing up putting the storms back in, and the last one shatters into pieces. Like this
Oh no.
like gigantic window above like the front door, like humongous. And he was like, "Oh, don't worry about that. I don't even need that window."
Don't worry about it. I
So,
got an arcade downstairs, guys.
so he ends up paying us, and then he gave us, I think, both $300 on top of the 1,500. So,
Man.
I mean, it was all right. I mean, I still don't think it was worth it. I never touched like storm windows after that. I don't even clean French windows anymore. Anytime someone calls me, I'm like, $97 a window, and I'll clean it.
That's hilarious. I would make a Silence of the Lambs reference, but I don't think
That's
you've
a little
seen that
old for
movie.
me.
Hmm.
No, I haven't
2010.
seen that one.
It's worth
That's my
checking out at the very least.
2010. Not to get into conspiracies, I won't go far deep, but my wife last night we were trying to watch a movie. She's like new into the moon landing, so I was like, let's watch this conspiracy about the moon landing, and it was made in 2001. And she was like, "No, we're not watching this. It's 2001." And I was like, "But," and she's like, "No, you don't watch old movies." And I was like, I know, but like, let's watch this one. And we had this like big debate. We went on
That's what
IMDb,
the
and it was
debate
like
was
5
about.
stars out of 10. Yes, that was the debate. Like, I cannot watch old movies. I can't. Like, she wants to watch
You're
The
like,
Sopranos, and I'm like, oh,
oh, dude, you would love that.
Technically, it's old television, not old movies. So,
That's fair. It's a loophole.
yeah.
I couldn't do it. And we didn't settle on anything. She like put on Shameless, which I hate Shameless. I was like, we can watch this
Why
pyramids in Antarctica, and she didn't want to go.
why such a hard cutoff? Why 2010 specifically?
So I go back to like my childhood, and when I look back at movies, the only way I can explain this is if you've played a video game like from today, and then you go and try and play the Nintendo 64, you're like, this is
And you have a
awful.
great time, and
It's
everybody's
awesome. You
high-fiving
unlock
and
Golden Gun and you get to play
Oh,
Mario Kart and
the graphics are so
not enjoy
bad.
it.
So you go back like watching old CGI, and you're like, this is awful. Like,
Yeah. I mean, but it's not all like what is that? Like the one movie that The Rock is in where he's like it's like the Mummy or something like that. It's like the
oh
worst
right, the bad
CGI.
CGI, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not all that, but a lot of it is. I mean, the
But I
90s were
mean,
pretty good, but
Katie
you
agrees with you. Graphics not so bad. Games are more fun on the Nintendo 64. I can't do it. There's something in my brain where, like, I'll tell you this: I can never watch something twice. I can't, except
really,
National Treasure. I've watched National Treasure probably 20 times. It's
Or-
you're losing me, Grubs. You're losing me.
But my wife will watch the same show 900 times, and I'm like, the ending, and she's like, I know, I feel at peace. I already know
that's
what's gonna
funny.
happen.
Hmm.
That's funny. Yeah, I've seen The Sopranos. It's funny that you mentioned that. I've seen that maybe countless times. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah. I
Like
can,
I maybe this is something in my brain. Like if I'm going somewhere, I can't like go. I can't turn around and go back. Like I don't like doing the same thing. Like if I'm halfway there and I
That's
don't have
because
my
you're stuck in
phone,
drive.
yeah, I can't do it. I'm just a weirdo, I guess.
I've
Oh,
done that
oh,
before. When you're frazzled and you just leave the car and drive.
yes, I've done
Car
that
is off.
before I go into something else, another conspiracy. So apparently there's this water. Chris was getting on to me. Like he was concerned that I don't drink water. Like we were talking about how I don't drink water, and he was like physically concerned. He was like shaking his head. He's like, Austin, you have to drink water. And I was telling him about how athletes and celebrities have water that we can't get, and it makes them like age in reverse. And it's like this weird water. And we started to get into hydrogen water. And I'd like to know what you guys think about, this weird water that we can't get a hold of as civilians.
I don't I don't know anything about it, but I like how you present it like we know all about it.
right.
But I
Yeah.
will say that uh It sounds like some kind of Scientology stuff that you're talking about, like Tom Cruise kind of stuff.
Yeah. I
I don't know.
yeah, you're losing me. That's it.
I drink a lot of water. I love water. I
Well, I
used to
told
bring
Chris
jugs.
I was going to drink a gallon of water a day because apparently him and Alex drink a gallon of water a day.
Believe it.
You gotta sweat though. I mean, you know, you gotta work some of it out, and like because drinking a gallon seems like kind of easy if you're doing it throughout the day. But even when I was like going to the gym, if you can even imagine that I ever did that, I
You're
would
humongous.
pull through. I would pull through about 3/4 of a gallon. Aside from maybe drinking cups of water at home, but I would very rarely drink a full gallon. But I don't know.
I've loved water my whole life, and I've never had a
Yeah.
problem drinking water. And so,
No.
like, I haven't had a soda in like 2.5 years. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I drink soda all the time, but I love water. If I just stop drinking soda all the time, I'll stop being fat. And now all I drink is water, and I'm still fat. And I'm like, okay, that did not work. So, drink all your Red Bulls you want to, I guess,
I
Austin.
drink Red Bulls and sodas and beer, and Chris was like concerned to the point of like, you're gonna die. And I was like, I haven't died yet. And he's like, no, we have to do something about this. Like,
Hey Austin, have you heard about this looking into the sun? Because Chris got me onto this thing that people are doing, and he didn't say that he does it. So I'm gonna put that disclaimer out there. But he said that there's this group of people that like stare into the sun.
it's called
I'm like,
sun
I don't know.
gazing.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, I follow people on TikTok, and I think it's the dumbest thing on the planet. Apparently, back in the day, the ancient people used to like stare into the sun to absorb energy and like build pyramids, or I guess I don't know. And I was just like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like I've always heard you're gonna go blind, and they're like, no, you have to be one with the earth. Have you ever heard of grounding?
yeah.
yeah, it's where
Chris
you
mentioned.
walk around barefoot all the time, right?
I knew a guy I used to work with cleaning windows, and he would ground before and after work. And I was like, dude, you can't be cleaning windows without shoes on. Like, this is
No.
gross. Like,
Hey, I think
he's
I
like,
was grounding as a kid because I was always grounded.
Hey,
Where's that? Where's that?
soundboard, soundboard.
yeah, before, what is DDSZ?
I don't know. Jacob has been saying it. I'm waiting on an explanation. I'm assuming the Z stands for Zane.
Trying to
DD.
think.
I was gonna
Dungeons
say
and
Hey,
like D's
Dragons.
nuts. Like maybe it's D's nuts.
that is right up his alley.
Drink? No, I have no idea.
But anyways, back to water.
Ask your dad. Okay.
Hydrogen water is like the newest thing. Apparently, it like reverses the cells in your body and you start healing faster or something. I get a 50-50 of like it's a scam, it's not a scam. Well, I went to go buy one of the water bottles because Chris was like intrigued. The water bottle is $300. I was like, why am I not building something so stupid that these people would buy it in the millions?
Wow. Yeah. I always go back to this, but that's like that Cards Against Humanity coming out with the like package of bullshit, and people
Yeah,
got it, and it was actual bullshit.
yeah,
People buy
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Oh man.
Pretty weird. But sorry to
Yeah.
go on my conspiracy rant. I had to throw that in there since I have
I
two.
love it. I'm all for it. But it's funny that you mentioned the moon and the year 2001 because there's a movie from I think 1968 or something called 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I don't know if you've heard of, but it's like
No,
before Star Wars and all that stuff. So it's pretty like revolutionary.
Yeah.
I wish I was like an adult in 1999 to go through Y2K. I
Oh
wanted to
yeah.
be there. Like the world's gonna end. Computers can't like flip over the zeros. I wish I could have been there.
It's so funny. People were talking about that, and like half of them, or if not more, didn't even have a home computer, but everybody was like concerned,
Hmm.
Well, I
That's a
get
good
so
point.
engulfed into like cults. Like in 1988, a guy wrote a book about 88 reasons Jesus was coming back, and it didn't work.
Mhm.
And then in 1998, he wrote another book, 98 Reasons Why Jesus Was Coming Back. And
Man, you got
I
to
get
keep it
so
going.
engulfed in like the Waco thing and like just the
Wait, hang
Kool-Aid.
on. That guy had a short story in 2008, right? Of 8 reasons that Jesus is coming back.
I love it, dude. I love like bomb shelters, and like there are people out there that have like 20 years worth of canned food and they're just waiting and waiting.
Yep.
They didn't have any toilet paper during the pandemic, though. It was crazy. Think you're prepared, you know?
I watched this is my last thing, I promise. I watched
Please.
this the 1960s spacewalk, which was clearly CGI. You don't have to comment on that, but it's clearly CGI.
It
And
was a
then
documentary made after 2010. Go on.
they were talking about how the Chinese landed on the moon, and they were like, "You never see any videos of that in 2013 when the Chinese landed on the moon because they didn't land on the moon. This is all fake. Like the footage was so bad they couldn't even put it out." But anyways, I digress.
So are we on Mars then? Do we have the rover up there?
Yes, Jacob, I do think the world's flat. You don't have to agree with everything that I believe.
I don't. I think I agree with maybe nothing that you believe.
I need a new podcast. I need some.
I don't know if you agree, but I think you like to entertain to almost the like degree of agreeing.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, get into the Mayan calendar. I thought 2012 was it for me. I was a senior, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, you were 2 years removed from movies.
Uh,
That's really good. Yeah, 2012. I was not concerned about that.
Yeah, I was in 5th grade, so I hope that doesn't make
Get
you
the
feel
hell
too
outta here.
old. 5th
No.
grade in
Man.
2012.
I was talking to Jersey about this because he was introducing me to some of the vendors, and he's like, "Yeah, he's the young guy," and I was like, "No, we just hired Zane. That dude's like 12. I'm
Yeah,
no longer."
I'm the young guy.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Well, I graduated in
2001.
2010, so
Yeah, I
Jacob said,
graduated in 2020.
nice.
Yeah,
That's
"That's
had
a
to have
good
been
movie.
awful.
Really good movie."
Is it? What movie?
Oh, I'm thinking of 2012. Never mind.
Yep, you're out.
Oh, my
Oh
God.
man.
That's good. It's good stuff.
Back to window
I could
cleaning.
do. Yeah, I was gonna say the conspiracy talk gets me going. That's
Great
hilarious.
transition.
I did want to ask you, and this is going to be a biased answer. You cannot answer as the big scrubber. But,
I was already going to.
go ahead, Zane.
I like the big scrubber. I'm assuming the question is, what was my favorite product released in 2023?
Yeah.
And I am biased. I am partial to the big scrubber. Now, I feel like I can be biased because Austin knows my work and my route. I am literally almost completely commercial. And
Yeah,
so
you
I'm
are.
routine commercial as well. So the big scrubber, and without trying to be too biased, but I really do like the big scrubber. Just because with all the new construction that is hydrophobic glass and all that stuff, the pad on the big scrubber just makes it so much easier. And that's all I'll say without being too biased. So big scrubber for me.
Before I get into my favorite product, Jacob said, "Nice segue." Thanks. That was a really nice, smooth transition there.
You're good at that. Yeah.
I do not want to make the Squeegee podcast upset because those are a bunch of really cool dudes, but I'd love to have Jacob on here. Like, I feel like Jacob would just add so much to an episode. So, obviously, I don't want to make TJ or Mark or Seth mad, but we would love to have you on the show, Jacob.
I like all those guys. Those guys
Jacob would fit.
always made me laugh watching every time I was on chat, just trying to kill time and watching them always gave me a good laugh. I was hopping in the chat every so often.
Seth
Good
has to be
dudes.
my favorite. When Seth, he doesn't drink anymore. I feel like when he was like there and just mad, and like I loved it. I was there for mad drunk Seth.
I love it, dude. I love those dudes. They're awesome. As far, like you said, as far as like window cleaning entertainment, I don't think it gets any better at all. And those guys have been doing it forever too. They've got it fine tuned with sponsors and all that stuff. I mean, I love Squeegee Life Pod, and they have great merch too. I'm gonna push that. I love their shirts and
Yeah.
hoodies and stuff.
I'll
Yeah, it
never
looks like
forget.
cool, like long sleeves,
Oh yeah,
like kind of like Thrasher-esque.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I really like that. Sorry.
I'll never forget me and Mike on the couch building big scrubbers, watching the Squeegee Life podcast. That was a surreal moment for me. Like it was awesome. But I would
I
say
don't know if I,
my
I don't know if
favorite.
I believe that you did that. I'm gonna start my own conspiracy here.
Austin is not real. That's the new conspiracy.
I'm projecting myself from a box.
He's still at the convention.
Yes. I would say my favorite product from last year, and I believe this came out last year. I could be wrong, but the Plus series of the Zero systems. You know, having a
Oh,
bigger
what's
DI
that?
tank, a pressure
Hmm.
gauge.
Right.
Was that last year or was it the year before?
It might have been the year before. I think it's yeah. I think it might have been because I think I was still at the warehouse at that point
I can't remember exactly,
when they
but to
had
see
those.
that transition from regular package to a plus package, I mean, there's so many add-ons: low pressure membrane, pressure gauge, bigger DI tank, powder coated frames. Really can't beat that. I don't know what a hold the
Oh,
deck program is, but apparently I'm a hold the deck program.
Hollow deck
Oh,
program,
hollow deck. I can't read
which
either.
I don't
But
know what that is either. I just know how to read it, I guess.
it's from a movie from
Oh,
2014.
Star
Yeah,
Trek makes sense.
I thought that was a Pokemon card.
kind of. Yeah,
That plays.
holographic. Yeah, the Charizard. I'm gonna go with if I'm jumping in, I'm gonna go with the Zero Brush.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice,
The
nice.
Zero Brush.
that
I
was
mean, you can't beat the price and the quality. I mean, we came out with the rinse bars too, the Zero rinse bars, and the aluminum. I
Yes.
think might have been was that last year or 2022? Man, I can't remember. Either way,
I
good
have
stuff.
to ask you, do you prefer plastic or aluminum?
Hmm, that's probably got to be a pretty good debate, right?
Huge debate.
It depends on. I mean, because I'm not a window cleaner, not a window cleaner. Guys, like, are they going aggressive on the windows up there? Like it depends, I guess, on your temperament, right?
Well, the spray pattern is completely different. And when we
True.
Right.
came out with the aluminum, everyone like had a huge fit. They were like, "No, no!" It was like a break in the matrix. Like, "No, I'm not used to this. No, no, I hate it." And some people were like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This is the greatest invention ever." So it was like this huge debate. I
Hmm.
personally like the splay because I rinse on the glass. But
Right.
for the guys that are like Steve-O that rinse off the glass, I can see why you would like the plastic straight pattern.
Hmm.
That's been the biggest thing I've seen is the biggest complaint has been, oh, well, when I rinse, it's spraying onto the glass. I've already cleaned it. I have had to adjust because I like to rinse off the glass. But when you rinse, you don't even have to stay on the glass. But if you stay close, I like it a lot. Now, I can understand how if you're doing really high pull work, you don't want to try to lift anything off the glass. I get that. But like, especially, and once again, bias, but on the Zero Big Scrubber, that has the new splayed rinse bar. And when you have that on the glass or really close to it, I like it a lot because when you're not bringing it way back and you're on the
Hmm.
glass, you're still getting a way wider rinse. And I like that a lot.
Because you're closer in with that than you can
Right,
be with a brush.
right,
A little bit, right?
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, for sure. Because with a brush, you're getting at least a couple inches of bristles. And with that
Hmm.
pad, you're right there and you're able. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You're able to still be on the glass, but still get the wider rinse. And I like that a lot.
Sweet deal. Sweet deal.
Yeah, Katie said it's tough rinsing off the glass at 40 to 50 feet.
For
Totally
sure.
agree.
Yeah.
I did a
Yeah.
humongous rock climbing place. They had a 60-foot uh, wall, rock climbing wall inside. I did interior, exterior, and it was pretty tricky. I made my own indoor pad thing. Mike taught me how to make like a pump up sprayer and connect it to the big scrubber for interior work.
Mhm.
That was pretty tough, but I mean, I can see like how you guys clean with the big scrubber. You go side to side on the top, so you're not putting too much water up on that
Right.
top frame. So if you do have that outside splay, that can kind of mess with it. But
Right.
you can buy any one you want. We make both, so it's all
Yep.
good.
Now, Austin, did you have any high-rise gear and get climbing up there?
No, I did not have any high rise gear. I did get in a boom lift, and so here's the thing: I was talking to my business partner. I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you've ever been in a boom lift, but it's a lot scarier than you think. He's like, dude, I used to do this all the time. He was like a welder or something. I was like, I don't know what you were welding at 60 feet, but this is a different experience. He's like, no, we're good. So I had him drive and we get all the way up about 55, 60 feet. And, you barely move and it's just like swaying.
Yeah,
He's like,
you're swaying or, rocking a little bit. Yeah.
he was like, I don't feel comfortable up here. Cause like even at that height, we still needed like 12 feet on the trad pole to pole it. You couldn't get close enough. And we were like
Mhm.
in the mix and he was like, I think this is dangerous. And I was like,
Yeah.
this
I
before we got
mean,
up.
yeah. By the way, normal to feel like you should be uncomfortable up there, I would think. Pretty high up
Yeah.
off the ground.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
a 2 feet on the ground kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you there. I hear
3
you
points
there.
of
But we're on
contact.
the lower rung, right?
Yeah, we're on the lower rung, man. Water fed only.
Right.
Absolutely.
I had a guy
Absolutely.
call me
Yeah.
today and he was like, hey, I'm bidding this site, would you water fed this? And it was like this gigantic hospital. And I was like, number one, yes. And number two, I water fed 95% of everything. So
Right.
anytime you ask me that question, it's going to be water fed.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. And why is it called a boom? Anybody know?
Yeah, boom is like a triceratops looking thing. It's got like the legs everywhere, and you can go up, down, side, left.
But the name, boom.
It's called boom because if you fall from that height, boom, you're dead.
Yeah, you don't want to go boom with the boom.
Oh yeah, the safety guy on site was like, "You have to wear your harness," and I was like, "Are you kidding me? If this thing tips over, then I'm dead either way." He's like, "You have to wear the harness." It's a thing.
Mm.
I was like,
It
"Okay."
booms in and out. Okay, I'll take it.
Maybe it's like a boom mic, like at a weird angle, how it collapses. I don't know. Just an idea.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah, you got that right, Austin. Is that what your setup is there?
Yeah, I got one of these thingamajiggers.
Yeah, there
Like
you go.
Joe Rogan on the other side of you, right?
Right. He's
you know,
got
I've always
who's your
wanted to
young
like,
Jamie?
I
Yeah.
wanted to do something so cool to where I get on the Joe Rogan podcast. It hasn't happened yet because I'm in window cleaning, but one day I'll get there.
Dude, just hop over to
Yeah,
Austin, clean his windows. It's not that far,
I
right?
DM'd him when he moved here on everything, not YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And I never got a response. I was like, I'll clean your windows for free. I'll drive to Austin, and I never got a response. Never.
crazy.
I just have to
Yeah,
go
well,
knock on his
he's in
door,
an
right?
underground bunker. How'd you not know?
Yeah.
I just need to be one of those door knockers and just knock on Joe Rogan's door.
Yeah,
Get it
he
done.
answers too, right?
Yeah, Damien said
Or the
anything over
doors look
30
down.
feet, you have to have a harness, which is kind of weird. I'd rather like get to a point where I can jump at some point and not be stuck in that thing. But hey, wear your harness.
Safety's important.
Yeah, I just got done with a week-long safety meeting, so super, super important.
Well, yeah. Black and white scenes with the, X, somebody doing something really dumb
Right.
and
But
I want to film something like that, like with window cleaning, where I'm just doing something completely stupid, like using the other side of the squeegee to try and clean the windows, like the bottom of the handle or something.
I like
Just
that.
black and white, like. Be
I
funny.
love it. But we're on an hour here. We try to keep it around an hour. We don't have long attention spans anymore. But
Hey, speak
like
for
I said,
yourself. I still watch movies.
yeah, apparently. We got giveaways coming up. We got phone calls coming in. So stay tuned. We'll probably end up moving this to the WCR channel. WCR is not technically a sponsor of this podcast, but we have 3 reps here. So I would say we can kind of say that we're sponsored by WCR.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. If they paid for the banner behind you and your glass and all that stuff, technically that's sponsored. I mean, we need those items for the show. It doesn't run without
Right.
those things.
Right.
Yeah. Visit windowcleaner.com. zeroproducts.com. We are both reps over here. There's three of us, 3 reps over here. Austin, Zane, and John B. We have our numbers on the screen. If you need us, call us, email us, and we'll see you next.
See you guys. Thanks for hanging.
Deuces.